Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Braven at the Sculpture Studio. And today, all I'm doing to start with is putting lacquer on concrete sculptures that I've already cast and last night painted. If you were watching 2 days ago, you probably saw me cast this one and take it out of the mold yesterday or the day before. And then last night I painted it, but I didn't make a video. Same with this one. Now, they're just covered in water-based paint. So in order to make them properly weatherproof, I'm going to lacquer them with polyurethane spray lacquer, just Rust-Oleum. It's a simple consumer product, but it keeps things weatherproof. It keeps concrete painted with watercolors totally weatherproof for. I've had things sitting out in the direct sunlight, snow, rain, wind, everything, for 6 years, and then sold them because they still looked good. So polyurethane spray lacquer, it's great. I use Rust-Oleum just because it has a good nozzle. I like the nozzle. Water-based is fine too. You can brush it on, but I tend not to use it as much because the paintbrush disturbs the paint, the dried paint sometimes, and wipes it off, or it um, dilutes it, and and you see the brush turning the color of the paint. So sometimes that happens. Unlike spray paint, I find that clear spray lacquer has extremely um, volatile solvents in it. So it doesn't need you don't need to shake it. I've found, at least in my experience, I don't need to shake it for 200 shakes for 2 minutes. It just 50 shakes is good enough, and it dries really fast. Hold on, I'm messing around with my monitor here. I just got to. Something's messed up. That's okay. I'm typing in a message that you'll see in just a second. It's kind of like show notes. Okay. I gotta make a message here. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Okay. I gotta make a message here. Hold on just a second. This is an impromptu video studio. Okay, here we go. Hello, period. Welcome to my sculpture studio, period. Feel free to ask anything. And check out my finished work at ClayBraven.etsy.com. ClayBraven. Okay, this should work. Let's see. Okay. I think that will magically appear. Let me pin it. Pin message. There we go. Okay. All right, now we're starting. I hope nobody's watching this. Or if you are, I hope you enjoy it. Me fumbling around. Like I said, I bought a new camera. It's going to arrive in a couple of days. I'm going to try to make actual watchable videos. So, after all that, let's do some sculpture. Like I said, I've painted these in acrylic and watercolor. They're made of cast concrete, but the paint itself is just watercolor paint, and it's not weatherproof. To make it weatherproof, polyurethane spray lacquer is the best. And by the way, this is just simple, plain polyurethane spray lacquer that you can get at Home Depot. I've tried all different kinds, including really expensive stuff that you get at boating supply stores, like Varathane outdoor ocean-going lacquer that boaters put on wooden fixtures to stand up to ocean weather and salt and spray. And this is, to me, this has always been just as good. Just plain old polyurethane. It's probably all the same stuff. The solvents in this stuff are, I think it's toluene or something. They're so volatile that they dry in just seconds. They don't cure or set completely in seconds, but they stop dripping and become not fluid. They become just tacky within seconds. So, and that's good enough to put on another layer. So I do an initial thin layer just to lock on and solidify the paint. And then I put a thick layer and go like this to keep it from dripping using gravity. Sometimes a second layer, but not always. Okay. Now this, putting such a thick layer on would normally be highly irresponsible and not too good, but I'll show you what I do. Okay, if you just set this down, it would drip and look terrible. But I'm going to put it in front of a room fan and just keep moving it for about 30 seconds to a minute until it is not in danger of dripping anymore. And it'll be a really nice single layer. Okay, now it's pretty safe. It's not going to drip. Set it there for a second. Now this one I used metallic acrylic paint over brown and black primer paint. I don't want to put too much lacquer on it because that dulls the metallic sheen, but it has to have enough to make it stand up to weather. So I'll put a fairly light layer on. Okay, that looks safe. I'm going to do one more layer on this and then just put it over another fan and leave it for a few hours. Okay, that one's done. I'm going to do one thicker layer on here, and then it will be finished. Good. Okay, that's it. That is safe. It's tacky and it's not in danger of dripping now, so I'm just gonna put it away and put it on I have a grid on top of a ceiling. I have a room fan that's blowing up, and I just put it over that. These are two Buddha faces that I finished last night. They're lacquered. I did that lacquering that I just showed you on these last night. The lacquer is completely set, and it'll cure over the next few days, but it's as hard as it's going to get, and it's perfectly well distributed. So it's time now to put a little bit of furniture wax on these. I like wax, buffing wax, the same stuff that woodworkers use. Any brand is fine, and I like it just because of the type of subdued shine that it gives. It's not too shiny, it's not too dull, and it looks well, it literally is hand buffed. I like it. Okay, this is flat lacquer, but it still has a little bit of a sheen on it because I put a pretty thick layer on. When I put the wax on initially, it dulls it. But after the wax dries hard, after it only takes 20 minutes or so, dries hard, and then you buff it with just a rag or a paper towel, anything. It looks beautiful. It has this nice satiny shine. It's not too shiny. It doesn't look like plastic. It looks like polished stone. Yeah, careful. Take a look at these two faces. You can see how, hold on, let me get them in the frame. You can see how one's skinny and one's fat. And this one, the shape is slightly different. These are actually from exactly the same mold, but it's a silicone rubber mold. And this shows you just how the subtle manipulation of how you set the mold down with the wet concrete in it can make a difference in expression and the form of the cast sculpture. Let me show you two carrots. These two sculptures, believe it or not, come from exactly the same mold also. They look totally different. And the only difference is that this one when I cast it, you can kind of see how it bends like this. Because when I cast it, I put the mold in a little box that pushes up on the ends and it flexes it and it makes it more like a turnip. And with this one, I put it in a narrow, actually a Tupperware container that just pushes on the sides like that and makes it skinny. So this one I paint orange and make it a carrot. This one I paint magenta and make it a turnip. Check these guys out. These I just put them away to dry for about a half an hour. Then I'm going to buff them and they'll be ready to send to the customer. That's how you break things. Okay, this is my bunch of grapes sculpture and I've cast it. I've covered it with black and sepia calligraphy ink and then wiped all that off. Basically India ink. Wiped it all off, let it dry, then I lacquered it to seal on that contrast layer and to make it look like a black and white photo. And now it's ready to paint. I'm going to paint it purplish to make red grapes and then green around the edges. I mean green on the leaves and brown for the stem. It's going to look pretty sharp. I really should cast another one of these today. This is one of the molds that I made for this sculpture. And one thing I like to do is when I have extra concrete left over, I just put it into these little face spaces here and make little sculptures that will be cute refrigerator magnets. I'm going to glue a magnet onto the back. Those are pretty popular at my farmer's market stall. Most of my sculptures are kind of high priced for a farmer's market, but little things like this do well because they're lower priced, $28, but kind of pricey for a refrigerator magnet. But it just takes a lot of work to make them. And they sell. Okay. I think that's it for this video because yeah, I have to shift location. So that's it for this video. Let's look around my studio just for a second. I'll show you some things. Hi, I'm Braven. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, yeah. So this is my sculpture studio, and these are all my molds. Check this out. These are all molds that I've made myself. Total disarray, but I know where everything is, so I'm going to organize this someday. Molds, molds, molds. This is my Buddha face mold, which I was just showing you. Then just random Random projects, things that I've made when I had a little handful of extra concrete and I just threw it into a mold to make these partial casts of different faces. And I actually smooth them off and paint them and lacquer them, and they're pretty popular as low-priced items. But I just have tons of raw concrete that is waiting for me to sand, paint, lacquer, do all the work. Each one of these things represents about an hour of work. These are all the refrigerator magnets I haven't made yet. That's a Madonna sculpture that is the cast. All the hard work of the casting is done. All I have to do is paint it, smooth it off a little more, paint it, and it'll be ready for my market. And this is the original clay of that same sculpture. This is bisque fired clay. And this is the sculpture that I took the mold off of. And just some other random things. Sort of an architectural flourish that I do not know what to do with. I'll do something with it eventually. There's my moon lady and another cast of that same moon lady sculpture. Some random cast items that I still need to do a lot of work on. This is my angel taking a cigarette break. It's a pretty popular one. It's a counterbalance to my devil taking a cigarette break. And this one just kind of speaks for itself. He's ready to paint. And some more random things that I have yet to finish working on. This one may be part of a plaque that I'm going to make out of concrete to go in a church sculpture garden. And that's that. Okay. Thanks for showing up, and I'll see you later, and I will have more watchable videos coming very soon as my camera arrives in the mail. See you later. Is this thing on? There we go.